Alright guys, welcome back to another Fortnite video, and in this one we have got for you the week 3 challenges guide, the full guide to every single challenge, showing you tips, tricks, and secrets so that you guys can get done with the challenges as quickly as possible and move on to playing the game to get some wins. So yeah guys, that includes the treasure star for this week, secret chests, and also the clay pigeon locations, which I will show you in detail. But as always guys, if you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, be sure to hit that like button down below. It seriously helps me out so much seeing the support on the videos and encourages me to make more of these. Along with that, be sure to comment what tier you guys are at right now. For me, I'm at tier 47. I need to get grinding a little bit more, but that's still not bad. So I'm curious to see where you guys are at as well. But yeah, guys, without further ado, let's jump on into it here and first go through the challenges, because as always, we do these a day early. We got the challenges leaked, and these are in no particular order. They're just kind of random. And thanks to Cross Fortnite Leaks on Twitter for hooking these up. But first of all, you have deal damage to opponents in a single match, then shoot a clay pigeon at different locations, which again, I'll show you all of those, then search 7 chests in Fatal Fields, got some secret chests to show you there, use a launch pad, then follow the treasure map found in Flush Factory, already got the location of the star, don't even need the map really, and after that you have explosive eliminations, which I believe is 3, these numbers might be a tad bit off, but they should be fairly accurate, and then finally eliminate 3 opponents in Haunted Hills. So yeah guys, a pretty interesting week, a lot of searching for stuff, but yeah, let's jump on into it here with the first challenge I want to talk about, which is the use a launch pad challenge. So how do you get this one done as fast as possible? How do you find a launch pad like in your first game? Well, it's actually pretty easy. So if you didn't know, in the recent update with the new P90, or in other words the compact SMG, they actually added a change to supply drops. That's right, so supply drops are probably the best way of getting this done, but basically the supply drops have an increased rate of dropping launch pads now and other like usable trap items. So that by far is probably the best way of doing it. So I would then recommend going into 50v50 and trying to get a bunch of supply drops right off the bat. Like for example here, let's go into 50v50. As you can see, once you get into game, probably just wait until you get like halfway through your bus route, then jump out and immediately pull out your glider. Then just wait for the circle to appear and glide down towards it once you know where it is, because that's where all the supply drops will spawn right off the bat. You can also maybe pick up some weapons and materials, because you will have like 2 minutes, because the supply drops spawn at about 8 minutes in. But once those spawn, try and check out a bunch of them, see if you can find a launch pad, or you can wait until the end of the game when like there's a ton of loot on the ground and find a launch pad then. But yeah, just place it on the ground, use it, and then make sure to either get eliminated or win. Don't click leave the match from the menu to make sure the challenge counts. But after that, then let's jump into it with the chests challenge for this week, because it's a pretty unique location. It's at Fatal Fields. Now at first you might think Fatal Fields, that place doesn't have a ton of chests, and at first that kind of seems true. It's not like the craziest amount of chests, but there is a decent amount, and there's a ton of secret ones to go after. So overall, this one should not be that hard. So getting into it with the secret chests, well actually first of all, what game mode should you do this in? Well, if you want a safe game mode, generally 50v50 is always a good bet. You do have to sometimes, you know, fight over your teammates going after chests. I could also maybe recommend solo duos or solo squads. Those are always pretty quiet to go for chests, and then you have somebody right there to eliminate you, so you can start the challenge over again if you really need to. But yeah, just do whatever game mode you find comfortable. It's going to take a few tries to get this one done anyways. But yeah, what secret chests can you go after? Well, most people are going to be going after the chests in like the barn and the main house and the stables, and I'll show you those in a sec, but I would recommend going for like some of the secret ones, like this one right here, which is actually next to the stables. It's inside like a little mini cave. You can find one right there that's generally pretty secret and out in the open. And then after that, another secret one is over on this side at the rock field. There's one hidden behind these rocks right here, so that one's definitely safe to go for as well. Now also, I could recommend going for the ones in the woods. As you can see here, there's one on each side, pretty out in the open but also pretty hidden, and nobody really goes here, and you can also get a bunch of materials. After that, there's also a secret one inside of this like silo, so you just break it down, go inside of that, and generally one spawns there. Now after that, then if you still want to try something different, I would try like the mini buildings like this one over here behind the house. That's a safe chest to get. There's also a building in front of the house, as you can see right here, and then one right across the road right over there, which those can be 2 back-to-back ones you can get pretty easily. Now as for the bigger locations like the barn and stuff, I could maybe recommend going to the barn, because you can hit this smaller building on the side. There's a chest up on the 2nd floor of that, and then you can go straight to the barn, jump up to it, and go inside, and generally get a chest right there. Along with that, then the stables is probably a decent place to go, but a lot of people go there. There's a chest up here, and then another one in this room off to the side. Not too bad, but not too great either. And then finally, you have the chests inside of the main house. There's one in the attic, and then one in this little like side portion mini attic. I don't really know what to call it. But yeah, guys, just switch it up, go for some different chests, and you should be able to get this one done without too much trouble overall. But moving on to the next challenge challenge here. This one is a pretty interesting one. It's eliminate 3 opponents in Haunted Hills. That's right, guys. We always have an elimination challenge, but Haunted Hills, that's a pretty unique place to go, and one that a lot of people do not have much experience in. So if you do have a little bit of trouble getting eliminations, I've got a couple of tips for you to make this a little bit easier. So yeah, guys, for this one, I would do whatever game mode you feel comfortable in. Probably solo, because you get your eliminations right away and don't have to knock anybody down and worry about that. But again, if you have a squad, do it that way. But solo is going to be the most common place that people are going to go into this. So yeah, where then do you want to drop to get like a good advantage, get some good loot? Well, it is a little bit tough. If you want a very safe place to go and then, you know, just run into Haunted Hills once you're stacked up, I could recommend going to these houses over here. I mean, you've got a couple of chests there, some floor loot. You can then get some materials and run in. It's very close actually to Haunted Hills. So that could be a good strategy for you if you're having a tough time, you know, getting in right away and getting weapons. Because the name of the game here is going to be, you know, getting to a chest early before everybody else, getting a gun, and then eliminating them while they're searching for weapons. So if you do want to do that, definitely try and get there as quickly as possible. And if you are late, maybe just go over to those houses and get some safe loot. And along with that, I guess you could also drop towards like some of these less common little smaller buildings. Like this one back here actually has a couple of chests, as you can see, actually like 3 right next to each other, and even like a 4th one, I believe. And yeah, there's a 4th one over here. So if you want to get like super stacked up and nobody's going to those, that's where you could get some good weapons. But yeah, just try it over and over again. You'll get those 3 eliminations eventually. But after that then, guys, let's talk about the secret treasure star. Follow the treasure map found in Flush Factory. And actually, guys, real quick before we get into it, if you haven't yet, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, because I do these guides every single week, a day before the challenges are even live. And if you don't want to miss those, that's the best way to get notified about them, especially if you have notifications turned on. So as always, guys, you don't even need to go to Flush Factory to view the map to figure out where this is, because I already have the map for you. I was able to actually find it in the game's files, so we have the exact map to go after. And basically the location that it shows is the top of this hill right here. It's very clearly this hill. It has like the little weird like platform going off the side, and then it has the house on top of it. And then the X is at like this location right here. So where then does that exactly mean? Well, I'm pretty sure. And again, always check the pinned comment down below for updates on if it changes. Like last week's was slightly to the left, but I believe the star should probably be like right here. I mean, again, there's no exact dirt patch this time around, so I can't say the exact location, but it has to be somewhere on this hill. I mean, the picture showed it exactly. The X was on that part of the hill. There's no way that it's not somewhere like in this area. So, you know, run back and forth a little bit, check it out. You should be able to see it right around there. But moving on again here, let's talk real quick about explosive eliminations. So I'm not 100% sure how many eliminations you do need for this. I think it's probably around 3 to 5, maybe even 2 now that I think about it. You guys will know for sure. But either way, that doesn't matter. What is the best way of getting explosive eliminations? Well, obviously, guys, this shouldn't be that huge of a challenge. Explosives, as they are right now in the game, are pretty overpowered. You can do some significant damage with these, but then on top of that, how do you get them the fastest? Well, first of all, I could probably recommend 50v50. If you wait towards the end of the game, make sure you just have like a ton of explosives, stuff like that. If you have that stacked on you and wait until the end where everybody's building big bases, and then you like sneak up behind the enemy and just shoot a bunch of rockets into there, you could probably get some eliminations that way. But instead, by far the easiest way of doing it is going back into 50v50 again and making sure you have explosives, but trying to find somebody off on their own and knocking them down as you would normally, like with an AR or something like that. As always, once you eliminate them with an AR, you can go up to them and then finish them off with an explosive, and that'll count towards this challenge. That is right, guys. So if you're somehow still having trouble getting this challenge done, it should be a pretty easy one overall. That is one way you can do it to make sure you get this challenge done for sure. So yeah, guys, definitely try out 50v50 or just play normally and knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. But after that, then we have one of the tough challenges that I definitely want to show to you guys and give you some tips on and show you the locations of different stuff, because this is the clay pigeons challenge. So again, specifically shoot a clay pigeon at different locations, and I'm not sure if it's 4 or 5, but basically I know what you guys are wondering. What is a clay pigeon? What exactly does that mean? Well, basically Epic Games added a bunch of these random little like disc throwers, to put it simply, that shoot out these discs, or in other words clay pigeons, and you have to shoot them to complete the challenge. So like as you can see here, here's an example of me using one, and this one is near Flush Factory. It's a little bit like to the north of it and to the left, actually pretty close to that big chair, but you simply activate it, it shoots out clay pigeons, and you try to knock some out of the sky. That's really all there is to it. You just have to do this a bunch of times at different ones. But yeah, as you can see, it's actually pretty cool. So where are the other ones for this challenge? Well, actually they're pretty far away, so I don't really think you could get multiple in one match, but either way, I'll show you a bunch of them. And also big thanks to these people for helping find a bunch of of these so that we can compile them and help you guys out. But like this one right here is west of Pleasant Park near that sort of creepy house. Just a little bit further than that, you can find another one right there. Now the closest one technically to that is at Loot Lake, and it is on the east side of Loot Lake at the campsite. So right here, as you can see, the campfire next to it, you got one that will shoot right over Loot Lake. So knock down one of those and you'll be ready to go. After that then, if you keep heading east, there's one between Lazy and Risky or Tomato Town at this bridge right here, as you can see. A little bit to the north of it next to the truck that's kind of like in the river. And there you go, there's another one to find. Now after that then, there is one at Lonely Lodge. As you can see, this one is to the north side of Lonely Lodge, just outside of the cabin actually. So drop towards the cabin, maybe get a weapon there, and then you can run over to this one, activate it, and finish another one. Now that is 5 of them, but I am aware of one other one in case you want to mix it up a little bit and try another. The final one I know of is actually to like the bottom right of the map next to the sort of Mexican town. As you can find right here, you go towards the waterfall and it's right next to it, next to like a RV and stuff like that. That is the final one I'm aware of, but that should be plenty to help you get this challenge done. But then for the final challenge, it's not really even a challenge, so I saved it for the end, but deal damage in 1 match. Guys, this one is crazy simple. Just play a match. If you're able to get like 2 or 3 eliminations, you will have this one done. There's really not much more to it, and that's really all you need to know about that one. You can try 50v50 if you're still having trouble. That's an easy way to get it, but overall, it's not a problem. But yeah, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you found it helpful, be sure to subscribe for more of these guides coming up soon. Along with that, guys, you can check out the previous week's guide on the left right here, or you can check out the guide for all of the birthday cake locations on the right for that challenge. But other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.